It's that time of the evening to take a look at the Stewards report with Chief Steward Brad Lewis. Brad, it was a good day of racing, pretty fair and pretty quiet in the Stewards room, which is good.
That's right, not too many inquiries in the Stewards room today, mate, just some minor incidents.
Brad, let's just firstly, Glenn Smith had to forego a couple of rides, as did Alan Kennedy. Can you give us an update on those two jockeys? They're healthy and fit. Is everything okay there?
That's right, Alan Kennedy's ankle hasn't recovered fully enough to ride today, so he'll undergo another medical check and hopefully be back through the week. Glenn Smith suffered the effects of dehydration during the hot weather through the week at Pinjarra, so under those circumstances allowed to get off his 54 and a half rides today, Mark.
Thank you for clearing that up, Brad. We'll kick things off with race number one, the Get the Tab Touch plate over 1,100 metres. It was for the two-year-olds, and what did you see out of that race, Brad?
We saw colourful charade layout quite significantly in the straight, so Wally Mitchell is now going to effect a gear change. I understand he may be going to a lugging bit to have this horse straighten up, but we did speak to Aaron Mitchell and told him that he needs to make a better effort to stop his horses shifting as much ground as that, and Debalatio Duart on jumping lost a couple of links and also raced keenly and had to be steadied when getting on the heels at about the 700 metres.
Things certainly got better for Daniel Stake after that. Race number two was the Penfolds plate over 1,000 metres here, and Slick Sam was wide throughout, Brad.
That's right, also layout was throughout. We saw a very torrid ride there for Clint Johnston Porter on invincible mode, raced erratically, restrained from heels, actually blundered, so this horse will need to go back to trials. Martin Allen's been told to take it back to trials, and the favourite in the race, Undisclosed, got out of the barriers awkwardly, came back with self-inflicted abrasion of the off-hind, also some mild lameness there, Mark, in the near hind, and some low-grade exertional heat illness, so a number of entries in the report for Undisclosed.
Let's hope that all is well with the filly there. Race number three was the Perth Racing Facebook Maiden over 1,400 metres, and Me and Taz was a late withdrawal.
That's right, there was some bruising to the knee there, so it was one of two late withdrawals today, so veterinary clearance required there, and we saw correct weight just delayed slightly. Chris Parnham and trainer Neville Parnham asked to view the vision of the final stages there, Mark, when both runners had shifted ground, raced tightly, and Chris Parnham felt there was no impediment to himself mainly, or his horse. It was a head margin. The stewards are also of the same opinion, and therefore correct weight was given, no further action taken.
Race four was the Australia Day Cup over 1,600 metres. Gloryland was a late withdrawal, but Pinzu, the race favourite, was wide and was still dogged to the line, just lost by about a half head, Brad.
That's right, put up a good performance anyway in being trapped wide throughout. Terra Force, in contrast to last start, actually dwelt today and lost a length and then wanted to over-race and also had a tendency to lay through the run. And Sasso Circus impeded in the early part of the straight and got a hit over the nose at about the 150 metre mark from the whip of another rider.
Race number five was the listed Scenic Blast Stakes over 1,200 metres, and Durendal Connections advised there that galloper will be raced forward.
That's right, so as we do, we did tweet that information out, announce it on course, and I also spoke on Tab Radio today, Mark, just to let everyone know it was spoken about in the press, and Zuccaros just got some final crowding in the last few strides, and that was from Jason Whiting on Volkov when shifting ground.
Race number six was the Chinese New Year race day next Saturday handicap over 2,200 metres, and Jatumi was awkward away.
It was also raced wide, and Lane was at about the 150. Came back with a laceration to the off-hind and now going to the paddock as Jatumi. McCavity wide from the 1,100 metres and quite regal, race keen and also impeded for clear running rounding the home turn.
Race number seven was the Perth Racing Twitter Handicap over 1,400 metres, and All Too Much was a bit keen but still finished off quite well.
That's right, through the middle part there, Mark, and from the race also Key to Fame got out of the barriers awkwardly and bumped race four wide with cover in the early part, and then was three wide from the 700 metres, and Tangier impeded from on straightening until about the 200.
Massive run there from Tangier. Race number eight was the Amelia Park Handicap over 1,400 metres, and what came out of that race, Brad?
It looked like Candlelight Star had to work very hard. A couple of unlucky runners looked to be Temporize and Ross Martini, and Desi Stream just underwent a vet exam prior to the run there, just suffering a slight abrasion to the offside cheek, but cleared to race.
And Brad, having a look at the vet certificates, Me and Taz Gloryland, the scratched gallopers, they'll need a vet certificate before they can race again?
That's right, the normal procedure when horses are withdrawn late there, Mark, and there was one whip offence today, Apprentice Espiner for one additional occasion, so fine there when riding the Winner Daney test in the second race.
I'm sure the owners will look after her there, Brad. Brad, it was another really successful day of racing. We're looking forward to next time we race here, which will be on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. Thank you for joining us, Brad.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.